SCP-041. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-041 is to be hospitalized at Bioresearch Area 12, though not Keter Class. Should SCP-041's abilities ever propagate beyond the reasonable containment area, the risk of SCP-sensitive information being broadcast to the public remains too great of a risk and warrants an area-level isolation away from the general populace. SCP personnel wanting to keep their thoughts private are advised to remain outside a 15-meter radius from SCP-041, beyond the designated red circle on the floor. Is it beneficial to the mental health of SCP-041 to have a sitter in the room who watches television and concentrates on its programs? This allows SCP-041 to effectively watch television through the mind of someone else. The Opter sitter is a Class D personnel with below average intelligence whose mind does not wander or have more than one train of thought at a time. Though not mind control, SCP-041 is used to its abilities to coerce sitters into watching programs that they don't themselves enjoy. SCP-041's tastes vary between gore and slasher films, having an exceptional interest in snuff and children's programming. Description: SCP-041 is a male human suffering from irreversible damage to its central nervous system, which is believed to have been caused by an infection of a rare strain of bacterial meningitis. Although antibiotics were successful in clearing the infection, the membranes surrounding his brain and spinal cord have reacted to the infection by severing many neurons connected to the central nervous system and the rest of the body. SCP-041 must rely on the respiratory to sustain its breathing. A biventilator pacemaker keep his heart beating and a nasogastric tube to produce nutrients. Visually, SCP-041 appears to be a persistent vegetative state. However, observers in the presence of SCP-041 begin to realize that their thoughts, along with everyone else's in about a 10-meter radius from SCP-041, are broadcast to a semi-audible fashion, aside from being the source. SCP-041 is capable of broadcasting his own thoughts. To this present, anyone forming the idea using words that those thoughts unwillingly transmit to others in the range of mind-audible speech.
Mic off. Mic on.
Which cannot be recorded by any known equipment. Correction: see Addendum 01. Mind-audible speech may be heard using whatever voice the subject chooses to think with, most typically the subject's normal voice. See Document 1. Visual thoughts and images are broadcast as well, but are not received as readily. Images are most efficiently transmitted when both the sender and receiver have their eyes closed. The sender concentrates on the object, the environment, or background, and the receiver mind is clear of conscious thoughts. Communication between subjects using visual images, particularly those not rooted in memory, but in imagination, is usually difficult. The sender typically has trouble conceiving the high-detailed mental object from a single point of view, while the receiver will have to try to fill the gaps in missing information, ultimately resulting in the receiver seeing the different image from what was sent. The most difficult imagery to be successfully broadcast appears to be the person's face, particularly if the image is one of a person in motion. Although able to transmit his thoughts to others, SCP-041 is not very talkative. Attempts to persuade SCP-041 is divulge any information about his ability has been so far fruitless. SCP-041 is typically silent and normally will not respond to any direct attempts to communicate. However, SCP-041 appears to have a sense of humor, as he interjects occasionally comments into conversations of others. Addendum 1. While researcher Redacted was taking voice notes using a digital auto recorder, a fellow researcher was changing the television in SCP-041's room. The television was on a channel of static, disembodied voices could be heard filtered through the white noise. Attempts to record mind-audible speech where white noise generates in sound recording equipment had begun to yield modest results. Though most audio is gargled, the recorded sounds may or may not be voices that are widely left toward individual interpretation. Addendum 2. It has come to my attention that several personnel have used SCP-041 as an ad hoc she likes me not detector. This is one of the most appalling things I've ever heard. Are we safeguarding potential world-destroying objects, or are you in third grade? Dr. Clean. Document 1. Researcher's quote. You know, the first time I was in that room with Kent and 41, I kept hearing this singing. It was a little girl's voice singing some kid's song. It wasn't on TV, it definitely wasn't on radio. It was in our heads, you know? So I think, stuck in bed without anything else to do, I'd sing like a little girl too. Then this voice comes to my head. Hey, it's not me. I don't know that too. And then all Kent looks at me, got all white in the face, Note, this event occurred after SCP-239 was placed in the chemically induced coma. Any connection between the two SCPs is currently unknown.